Boy,
Definitely.
why does Jesus attract so many Marys? Like, I don't know what is going on there.
Yeah.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bible Geeks podcast. I'm Brian Sheely.
I'm Ryan Joy.
And continuing today on the show, we are still in Bible bracket season, as we will be for a little while. And this time with our second half of our favorite Bible women draft.
We have meticulously narrowed down our list. We've got so many women to work with.
So many women
in the Bible, and we have narrowed it down to this incredible set for a 64-person bracket. We're going to knock them back and forth in our 4 distinct regionals. And over the next couple weeks, of course, you'll be able to vote. And voting will start today.
Yep, so we've got queens and prophets and outlaws and even some unnamed heroes. So let's get back into it here with our last 2 regionals. Okay, so we're back right in the middle of drafting here. We, on our last episode, tackled the women of valor and the matriarchs and leaders here in our favorite Bible women bracket that we're doing here in 2026. Today, we're getting into friends and followers of Jesus and the Nameless Notables. And I don't know, I like these 2 regionals as a choice together because they do feel like such an important part of our preaching. And I don't know if this is going to come out, but like I feel like a lot of the people we're about to talk about wind up in sermons all over the place. And I'm kind of excited to get into some of their stories.
Yeah. I see like a whole sermon series wants to come out of this for sure, or a guided study.
Ooh,
maybe.
I like that too. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So at the end of this episode, after we've drafted all 64 favorite Bible women, we will begin the voting. So just know that the voting begins now. Stick around for the end of this episode, or just skip to the end and go vote. But we're going to start voting at the end of this. So here we go. I will let you, Ryan, pick up for our first draft of the Friends and Followers Regional.
Friends and Followers. Okay. Well, after our conversations around The Chosen recently, I'm going to put Mary Magdalene right here at the top.
Oh, that's so good.
Of the Friends and Followers Regional. The details are a little more scant than in the show, but there's a lot there about who she is, and here's a lady who witnessed both the cross and the resurrection, and had some important interactions with Jesus.
So Mary Magdalene is probably the correct first pick. My second pick is going to be the other correct pick, is Mary of Bethany.
Okay.
Of the women who were able to follow Jesus around, Mary of Bethany was involved in so many of those like pivotal moments in Jesus' ministry. And so Mary of Bethany is second on the list here. How about 3?
You'll never guess who I'm going to go next.
I know exactly who you're picking next.
Well, you have throughout this draft picked the first of a pair several times, and I've felt compelled to keep them together. So I'm going to go with Martha, not Martha of Bethany, though she is. We usually just call her Martha.
Martha.
Not a million Marthas. Yeah, also known as Martha. And I think Martha deserves more credit than she sometimes gets as a really special woman of faith, as seen at the moment of her conversation with Jesus at Lazarus' death.
So I'm going to pick a deep cut maybe for number 4. And maybe I should put this lower, but I think she's super important. I'm going to pick Elizabeth as...
No, that's good.
Pick number 4 here. Yeah, John the Baptist's mother, who, got to experience the baby Jesus as an infant. And of course, she's on my list real high. So Elizabeth there, Luke chapter 1.
I like that a lot. I am going to pull a Brian and pick the first of a pair here.
Ooh.
And go with Lois, Timothy's grandmother.
That's so good. How can you separate? That was my problem, right? How do you separate them? Because they should be together, right? All right, fine. Pick number 6. I'm going to pick Eunice. I think it's correct to have them side by side. So pivotal, right? To the, I mean, if you just think, we're going to talk more about this, but like so many of these women have been like instrumental in bringing about like these really powerful preachers or teachers, or just like without their efforts, the work would never have been accomplished. So Lois and Eunice definitely on that list.
I love it. I am going to go Dorcas, also known as Tabitha, who, you know, not only was raised but from the dead, but when people gathered for her funeral, they were just talking about all that she did and all that she made and how much of a woman of faith she was.
That's so good. Yeah, Tabitha is on the list for me as well. And the next one on my list is Anna the Prophetess. So
yes,
of course.
I almost went that, but I thought that you might you might let that sit for me to come back around to.
No, I got it. It's mine.
I like it. Okay.
Anna the Prophetess, Luke chapter 2. She was waiting for Jesus. And boy, to have been in the temple around that time of him coming, it would have been so cool. And she was one of the people who got to see him first.
Okay, I am going to go with I think I'm going to go with Junia here, who is listed in Romans 16 and is talked about as, you know, not one of the 12, but as one who is sent, you know, like an apostle. And so clearly was important and was in this list of people who were precious to Paul as partners in the work.
I like that one a lot. She was actually in my matriarchs and leaders list, but we didn't get a chance to pick her. So yeah, that's a really good one. Let's see. I am going to go with, I'm going to talk about Susanna on the list here.
Oh, Susanna.
Luke 8, verse 3, faithful follower who was able to provide for Jesus and take care of him. I do like that story, so let's go with Susanna next.
Well, you know, let's just call that a pair too, and I'll go with Joanna, that's listed also in Luke 8:3.
Yeah.
And I mean, these are people who are clearly taking care of Jesus, following Jesus, providing for him out of their means, it says. And so, yeah, these are important people. Joanna was the wife of Herod's household manager and was a follower of Jesus.
All right. So, can I do another Mary? Does that make any sense? Is that going to confuse people?
No, I love it.
I'm going to do Mary, the mother of Mark, who was the host of some followers of Jesus in Acts 12. She's going on my list here.
So, you know, a little bit of humor here. Just again, to stick with that theme, I'm going with Rhoda there in Acts 12, the servant that shows up and thinks it's Peter's angel.
Yep.
And you don't know what you're talking about. And of course, Peter is showing up there, not his angel, but Peter himself. So anyway, that's a fun one.
Yeah, that's a good one for sure. Boy. All right, low on my list. Can I pick... Maybe we should have thought about this ahead of time. Can I pick more than one person, but they're just categorized as one person? Can I pick the daughters of Philip as a single entry here? Because they're only listed as the daughters of Philip.
I think for that particular case, that is appropriate because I don't think we want to take 4 spots for daughter of Philip,
number 1, number 2, right? But these were 4 sisters who had the gift of prophecy. And boy, if you had not thought about, you know, women prophets in the early church, there they are. Acts 21.
There they are. Yeah.
Doing some really powerful work with regard to Paul. So what about your next one?
Well, you don't have to follow the pairing process we've had here, but I'm going to go here with Euodia, who is one of Paul's fellow workers. And if you don't choose to pick her partner there in Philippians 4:2 through 4, we could pair them together. If you have somebody else in mind, you could pull Daughters of Phillips.
We're doing Syntyche. Yeah.
Okay.
And, I think of the names that people know, Euodia and Syntyche are two of the more popular ones because they stand out pretty uniquely in the book of Philippians, right? It's like, oh, yeah, there they are. These two ladies who, I don't know, it seems like maybe they were having beef with each other, but...
yeah, they were.
Yeah.
But also,
partners.
He says
of
they've
Paul.
labored side by side with me in the gospel. Their names are in the book of life. They're my fellow workers. So they have something to straighten out. But Paul had some moments where he had something to straighten out with a companion too,
For sure.
with Barnabas.
All right. So that is the Friends and Followers regional. As you look at the list, what do you think of? You think this is in the right order? I feel good about it so far.
I do feel good about this. Actually, we might have gotten this one right.
All right. Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's out of sorts here. Mary Magdalene, Mary of Bethany, Martha, Elizabeth, and again the list goes on. Lois and Eunice, Tabitha. Yeah, I think this is right. I don't think anything here is out of sorts. I think
it's pretty good. Yeah, Tabitha you could say which one, Lois and Eunice or Tabitha, but I think that's a debate.
Yeah.
So no, it feels good. It's in some ways this list has a lot of people that we don't have long stories of.
Right.
But where their name appears, it appears with honor, with import from the prophetic inspired writers.
Sure.
And so it just really shows you the importance of these special ladies.
Yeah, no doubt. Very important. And I feel like a good conversation around the Marys here is going to happen in short order. Like, boy,
definitely.
Like, why does Jesus attract so many Marys? Like, I don't know what is going on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, of these two Marys, at least at the first and second seed here, I feel like, we definitely talk about Mary of Bethany quite a lot, and Mary Magdalene deserves to be in the first pick. But I will be curious to see which of the Marys go the furthest.
Oh yeah, we could have a Sweet 16 with four Marys in it.
We could, yeah.
5 even. We have 5 in the list so far.
So far.
Anyway.
All right. So let's move on to our Nameless Notables regional. And if I could just be a little bit more honest here about the categories and the regionals, this is my favorite of all of the regionals.
I love it.
I love this one so much because it's like, why are so many of the women who have done like incredible things in the Bible left unnamed? I don't know.
Yeah.
But let's talk about these anonymous women who just demonstrated so much faith. And by the way, we are already picking in some of our other regionals women who don't have a name as well.
Yeah.
So these won't be the only ones, but these are the ones that we've chosen for this particular regional. And I'm going to go with the woman at the well as the first pick. Of course, the only first pick for the Nameless Notables regional that could be done. Yeah. The woman at the well.
I think that's right. I do agree with you there. AKA the Samaritan woman.
Right.
Several names for a nameless woman here. Boy, it's just such a packed list. And it's one of those where the first pick is clear and the second pick is not.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with the woman who anointed Jesus' feet in Luke 7.
Oh yes.
Because which I think is different. I take as a different anointing than Mary of Bethany's anointing.
Okay.
And so, yeah, that's what we're going to go with number 2.
All right. I think that's the correct next pick. I had her lower on my list, honestly, but I think you're right to move her up. I'm going to say the widow with 2 mites is number 3 for me. Just over the moon.
I like that.
Was Jesus over her financial gift and sacrifice in Mark 12. He noted her, made all his disciples like stop what they were doing and look at the woman. Like that's a woman to be noticed for sure, and not given a name. So number 4.
I like that. Okay. I am going to go with the Canaanite woman in Matthew 15.
Ooh.
That Jesus interacted with, and well, even the scraps of the dog. She keeps coming back to him with faith, and isn't chased away by his what may have been joking with her or whatever is happening there with that interaction.
I like it.
So Canaanite woman.
Okay, so the Canaanite woman is solid. So I actually had on my list the Syrophoenician woman in Mark 7, and those two are the same person. So I think they're the same person. So I'm going to leave her off of my list because I was going to pick her next. But I'm going to leave the Gospels, if that's okay. I think this is the first time we've done that in this one. I'm going to leave the Gospels and go with the little Hebrew maid, which is not actually what her name is called in the text, but she was the captive girl who was telling Naaman about his healing. So in 2 Kings 5, the little Hebrew maid is my next pick.
I am going to go in the collection of wives.
Ooh.
Instead of the widow collection, I'm going to go with Noah's wife, who, we don't have a name for her, but she's one of... We all came from her. She's like Eve. She's a mom to us all too. And she was, she held to, for all those years of preaching and crazy Noah building his boat. She was with him and was the mom of the 3 boys that Ham, Shem, and Japheth. So I'm going to go Noah's wife here.
I did not even. Wow, that's so good. I did not actually have her on my list, but she is solidly a nameless woman. I'm gonna go with the wise woman of Tekoa. 2 Samuel 14, her story there. She's at my 7th position. Go for number 8.
All right, I'm gonna go with kind of another complicated story, but Jephthah's daughter.
Ooh, interesting.
Whatever the sacrifice represents there, whenever she runs up to him at the end, she handles it well, and it has this courage, character, faith that in a terrible time and a rough story, depending on how you interpret that, she stands out as the hero of the story to me.
Jephthah's daughter was on my list for women of valor, which I think you basically were just describing, but the women of valor was so packed that Jephthah's daughter wound up on this list for me. But yeah, that's pretty good. I think it makes sense. But all right, so you talked about a complicated story. I'm going to go another complicated story and pick the woman caught in adultery in John 8, which...
I love that pick. Yeah.
I feel like we could talk about that. I mean, there's lots of reasons why that could be a questionable pick or if she even belongs on this list at all. But boy, Jesus' response to her changes the entire picture of it. So because of his grace and his forgiveness of her, John 8, that's where we're landing.
I like that. I am one of the great stories, of course, in the Bible, and I am stalling as I think about my next pick here. I want to go with, and this is a little weird, but I want to go with the bride in the Song of Songs, the Song of Solomon.
Whoa.
You know, she's so beloved and she speaks with such, such love and poetry and, kind of, we don't think about that all the time, but different kind of a character.
I love that. I totally was not even thinking about her, but yeah, of course. Lots of sultry things being said about that lady. Definitely belongs on a whole book written about her. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. I'm going to go with the Widow of Nain. I thought you were going to pick this one as your widow pick, but
yeah.
I'm going with the Widow of Nain
there.
Here from Luke 7, who got to see Jesus raise her son, which, I mean, was so cool. I love that story in Luke 7.
Yeah. Okay. All right. What about New Testament, Old Testament here? We're getting down to some lesser known picks here. I'm going to go with the bent over woman in Luke 13.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Another miracle there
on my list as well.
Okay.
Yeah. That's solid. She was bound up for 18 years, healed on the Sabbath, and caused a whole ruckus. But yeah, Luke 13, that's a great story. Let's see. I also am stalling for time here.
What pick are we on?
We're on pick 13, I believe. Where are we at here? This list. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Future Brian. Yeah, we're on pick 13 here. So I got just 4 more left as we wrap this thing up. I'm going to pick as pick 13, the persistent widow. She was also on my list of widows here. The persistent widow in Luke 18. Just someone who would not stop praying. And of course, maybe not a real woman, but a parable of a woman who could have possibly lived. I'm going to lean on that one. So Jesus told the story about a woman who was a widow and wouldn't stop praying.
What? She was on my list too, but I wasn't sure how we felt about people in a parable. Okay, I'm going to go with the wise woman of Abel Beth Makkah.
Yeah.
That's, kind of parlayed and saved the city. Just another, almost like an Abigail type character that kind of prevents some problems with her wisdom.
She was on my Women of Valor list.
Valor?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she's the right pick for this position in the Nameless Notables regional. I'm going to go with... Oh, this is my last pick here. So I am
in the whole draft. Yeah.
I'm going to go with... how about Manoah's wife?
Okay.
So this is a deep cut, right? But Judges 13. This is Samson's mother, who I guess I could have just called her Samson's mother. But she received an angelic visitation in Judges 13. So Manoah's wife.
Okay. I like it. That was also, far down here, but it was on my list also. And we're at the bottom of the story. At the bottom of our draft boards here for all of our lists.
Yep.
And I am going to go with the slave girl with the spirit of divination in Acts 16. Poor young lady that had been being used for the abilities that this demon possession gave her, and then she was set free, which again caused many more problems.
Yeah, it did.
So I'm sure we left off some obvious huge ones. I'm interested what's on your list that you didn't put. Oh, you know what? Okay. I think I want to change this out. Tell me what you think about this.
Okay.
I mean, the servant girl, certainly a worthy consideration. But what about, as we think about, we called one of the categories women of valor, coming from, the excellent women of Proverbs 31.
Yes.
What about King Lemuel's mom? the Queen Mother in Proverbs 31.
Ooh.
What do you think of her as like a deep cut? She's the one that's passing on some of this wisdom to him.
I think it's right. So we'll refer to her as Lemuel's mother.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. As a replacement for your 16th pick. For
the woman who had the spirit of divination.
I got it. Yeah, I think that's right. Okay. Yeah, I could get behind that. I shall allow it.
Okay.
I honestly didn't have many others on my list. I had the maidservant of the high priest who was questioning Peter. Maybe not on the list. I don't quite know. But let's see. I think I had the Queen of Ethiopia's official, Candace, who was mentioned as a ruler in Acts 8. All right. So of these women, and maybe we'll talk about this at some point, but I feel like a lot of these unnamed women wind up being conversation points in our sermons, which I would really like to talk about at some point. But it is cool that, like, while they don't have names, almost immediately we remember their stories, and we've thought about their impact on the situations in which they were in. And I love that about these nameless women, that no, they don't have names, but they do show up so often in the biblical story.
Yeah, it would be nice to have a name for them. That would be not, but yeah, I mean, I have a whole sermon on the young Hebrew maid that we've been talking about, Naaman's wife's servant. I mean, how many of us have built sermons around the widow with two mites? I mean, this is just such a powerful storyline. We'll probably fold back around to some of these ladies later on in the season. But
right, so
yeah, that's a couple that jump out to me.
Yeah, I agree. I think these are all just really powerful examples here in this Nameless Notables regional. So this concludes our draft. Over these last two episodes, we have drafted the Women of Valor, the Matriarchs and Leaders, Friends and Followers, and the Nameless Notables. Starting today, you can go to our website, BibleGeeks.fm, and vote, and that is the challenge for this week. Go and vote. Go vote at the bracket. Go tune back in, because for the next couple of weeks, we will be bracket voting and working our way down to the final four, and we're really excited about that. But I think the challenge from last week still applies. Like, if there's a story here that you have not caught up on or you're not familiar with, take on the challenge of reading about some of these women and their stories, especially as you're voting for them. Maybe that would be helpful as you work your way down in the voting process to just read a little bit. So we'll have the passages there on our website and also in the show notes for this episode.
Yeah, it applies even more this week because these are small little stories a lot of the time. Let me give you a few of my ones that didn't make it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Let me real quick. You just make sure that this is all as it should be.
Yep.
So I was just thinking about Gomer, but she didn't really fit anywhere. But like Hosea's wife and how we are Gomer, and I wanted that in there, but I couldn't quite find the spot.
Gomer and the woman caught in adultery are like on the same category of.
Yes.
I don't know that they belong here, but I get where you're coming from.
Yes. I was looking for a place maybe in the leaders for Michael, but she's so like, she's kind of difficult. She's a complex character.
She is.
Same thing with Vashti. Another Mary of Clopas didn't make it, right? One of the other Marys?
Yeah, did not make it. Mary of Clopas did not make that. My hard one was in Romans 16, there's like a whole bunch of ladies listed out there, and I wanted to add them, but like they either had to be all together or you had to list them out separately. It was like Mary, another Mary, Mary of Rome there in Romans 16. And then Persis and Tryphena and Tryposa was also there. Definitely not names that we regularly run across. That was...
Oh, and Rufus's mom, who is a mother to me as well, Paul says.
Yeah. So I feel like our list is fairly complete. We've chosen 64 women of the Bible, and all of them are a pretty high bar, I think, the majority of them. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the voting goes. So yeah, everybody go out and vote. Share it with a friend. Let other people know about it. We would really appreciate that. Yeah, and until the next episode, everyone, may the Lord bless you and keep you.
Shalom.